we're looking at farming T16 maps, jungle valleys. This is a strongbox strat, looking for more scarabs, more div cards, and basically raw divines as well if we can find them. The cards that you can get are pretty high value as well in some cases, making it a pretty gamble strat, but it does turn out quite consistent. It's insane. It's with a little bit of MF. I made 77 divines back from 25 maps. Profit of that was 65 divs. It's not that low, but it's only 65 chaos investment per map, but you do make around 2.5 divines profit back on average per map, so it's worth it. If you can blast the maps out in 5.5 minutes, you'll get quite a lot of return. You'll get a lot of scarabs, raw divines, decent cards, bubblegum currency, T17 maps. You'll get other loot, and it'll all be quite easy to sell or just use and self-sustain doing this kind of strat. So the maps are quite easy to roll. You just do the usual chisel, alchemval. Make sure you get 8 mods on Jungle Valley that don't actually break your build. You can replace this scarab, the Discernment Scarab, for the Cartography Scarab of Corruption. That'll give you 8 mod maps that drop anyway. So I use that Corruption Scarab myself for 5 maps, and I got enough maps to pretty much fund 25. I did get a few maps that weren't very good for my build, so I've just put them aside. There's not enough to sell because I started using this scarab, but if you did do the corruption strat, you could probably get enough maps together to regex them and sell them on. So the scarabs you're going to want to use are Ambush, Containment, Discernment, and Hidden Compartments, which makes your investment into each map around about 65 chaos per map, and then the cost of rolling the 8 mod maps on top, or whether you use the Corruption Scarab. With a semi-MF setup, I was making around 2.5 divines profit on average per map. If you can do it in around 5.5 minutes, you'll be looking at around 29 divs per hour. If I took out the big ticket drops, which were the brothers gift cards, 2 of them, if I take those out, it's still quite good, and it's 25 divs per hour. You always want to use the Eater of Worlds and then Ambush on the map device. I'm obviously running Jungle Valley. There's no boss altars and the fortunate card drops, which is going to basically equate to more currency overall. So I did a test of 25 maps. The first 5 maps I used the Corruption Scarab, and then the rest I used Discernment. Just to give you an idea of the loot back, I had to split it over 3 different tabs, so that is all of the loot for 25 maps, and this whole tab, and pretty much that whole tab as well, so absolutely loads. Okay, for the all flames, you need to get the ones that are increased scarabs. You can chuck a couple on each map, or just one if there aren't very good rolls that show. They look like this, so they're the Syndicate Embers. You just want to have a look for the cheapest ones and get the max amount that you can to fund your runs. So just to give you an idea, once you've got that, you want to look for anything with more pack size, or anywhere the pack density is high. You can double up, probably drop it on these 2, but you want to use at least 1 each map on the best or highest pack density you can. And then once you get into the map, you just want to basically start popping open the boxes, making sure you get your headhunter buffs flowing, and just rush the map, watching out for all of the explosions and any bad effects on the strong boxes, as they will absolutely wreck you if you're not paying attention. So get through it, make sure it's about 5.5 minutes, and you'll be on to a good one. So the Atlas tree, I'll give you a link so you can have a look in more detail, but it's pretty much a focus on strong boxes, Eater of Worlds, benefits, pack size increase, extra scarabs, things like that. We're blocking out a few mechanics as well. We're not necessarily forcing anything in particular except for a little bit of Nico. But yes, have a look in a bit more detail, and you can copy this one too. You can see all the stats over on the right there. Okay, cool. So I'll run some maps. I'll show some highlights now of the loot that was dropped, and you can have a look at the end at the Wealthy Exile breakdown. Okay, cool. So the Wealthy Exile breakdown then. So the first tab is 70 divs, 4.8 in the second, 2.6 in the third tab, so 77.4. 15 divines dropped. I mean, 10 of those were from the Brothers gift cards, so 2 of those dropped, which were 5 div each. If we took that out of the totals, you'd still be making really, really good money per hour. 7 years bad luck, 4 of those dropped, 8 T17 maps, 4 of the Sephiroth, 2 meat sacks. They're all worth quite a chunk at the top. A massive amount of chaos dropped. Over the other tab there's 100, 52 in this last tab as well, so a lot of chaos drops as well. Fortunate 16 of those, I'll trade them in straight away and we'll get 2.2 divs out of that. If we sell a few, obviously there's a lot of alteration, a lot of chromatics, scouring, chisels, files, so there's just a lot of raw currency that you can either sell on or you will use. A lot of all flames, loads of other loot as well. Absolutely massive, this tab. It's going to take a lot of sifting through. This tab as well, full to the brim with scarabs, raw currency, different cards, and then the last tab has just got raw currency as well as a few scarabs and cards. So yeah, absolutely massive. If you are happy with this, if you try it yourself, or if you know of a variation that works better, do let me know, and I'll happily test it. But as always, thanks for watching.